Yeah.
So this is an interesting one. Next is from Jason Turpin. The subject is Buff's warning shot for Disco. Disco, Buff Bagwell fired a warning shot your way last week on his podcast, Rebuilding Buff. It started over a beef involving WCW wrestlers Mike Sanders and Alan Funk. These guys were on a podcast that told a story where Buff allegedly was too intoxicated to hold a baby. Buff went Kwame Brown on both of them and spent 45 minutes burying them on his show. At the end of the episode, Buff put on notice every WCW job guy with a podcast that specifically called out Disco. They talk. Bro, this is funny too. They talk about Disco for several minutes, but here's a short clip of the best part. It starts at. You got this show?
Yeah.
I want to hear it because here's the thing with Buff. If Buff has a serious issue with me, he'll call me.
Right.
Well, Buff will always call me if he has an issue with me, and I'm
we
fine.
should bring him on anyways. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he is hilarious. And plus, too, I don't think Buff realizes that sometimes he'll do things. We'll bury him a little bit. But ultimately, we always put him over. Buff is a great story. So I
bro,
think
I told Chris one time, he was telling me that Easter Bunny story, which I had forgotten about.
Right.
And I was like, well, how did you put up with me if I was such a and he was like, bro, you are our friend. It's like, it. We know how you were. The same thing with Buff. We know how he is, but he's a cool. If you don't know him, he will rub you the wrong way. Like, I'll give you another example. Brian Christopher was like that. If you didn't know Brian Christopher, you hated him. But bro, he was incredible guy. Yeah.
And I'll say this with Buff too: is as Buff gets a lot of things, he'll hear stuff secondhand,
right,
and then respond. So let's.
How red is Buff here?
Let me see. I can't see it. Hang on.
You don't see
what
it?
we got? Yeah, who's this guy that's doing the show with him?
I don't know.
I kind of hope now that Disco says something bad about you.
He will now.
I'd love
He will now. He will. I guarantee it.
I'd love to just talk shit about Disco for an hour.
Oh, we can.
I think Disco may be the most hated person on the internet in the wrestling world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
fans they take him to hell for everything. He's a very opinionated person. It just happens his opinion sucks.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's not a big. Don't have many fans out there in the internet world. So you never know. Maybe Disco will say something. We'll get to talk about it.
He will. I guarantee. After this right here, he'll hear this. It'll get to Allen. It'll get to Sanders. It'll get to them, and then Disco he'll accidentally say a little too much and act like it was okay to say because it was funny, and me go, Disco, that ain't funny. That's not funny that people think that.
I mean, while we're blasting back right now, let me go ahead and just bring up one more name.
It wasn't really much.
One. This guy's
hold on. Let me take it back like 20 seconds, maybe, because it sounded like we grabbed it in the middle.
They've got a podcast, and they've done nothing to help this business whatsoever. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, what's next? The Mulkey brothers? They're gonna.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Next jobber tan. I kind of hope now that Disco.
Okay.
Let me say this, bro. It's not our job to help the rest.
No. He was talking about Kwee and somebody else. Yeah.
Oh, those two guys. Yeah. Sanders and Kwee. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that story.
Yeah.
They have a podcast. Kwee.
Sanders and Kwee have a podcast. How fun. But I'll just say that, bro. It's like if Buff listened to everything we say on the show, he wouldn't. He'd probably agree with most of the stuff we say.
I felt bad because remember I told you something at that birthday party, and he was kind of messed up, and I was like, there is absolutely no way this guy's gonna be able to get in the ring and cut a promo. And he cut one of the funniest promos I ever heard. But the funniest thing was he cut it on Brian Cage, who's not known for being good on the mic. And Brian destroyed him on the. It was hilarious. I was like, "What's going on here?" Yeah, it was hilarious. But the guy that was running the party actually told me, he goes, "Hey, Buff is here." And I go, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "What's up with him?" And he goes, "Well, he's a little sensitive because he said you buried him or something on one of the podcasts." I go, "Bro, if he doesn't understand that was in jest, come on, he knows me, and I kind of felt bad when I was talking to him. But right now that I saw him, have you ever seen that show on the Cartoon Network, Hunger Force? Where it's like a
Hunger Force. There's no way I would get that reference.
Okay, bro, you should
watch
see
cartoons?
The show. You should see. Yeah, bro, you would laugh at this.
Is that the one with the talking French fries or something?
Yeah, it has like a French fry and a hamburger and a meat wad. and the fry's name is Frylock, and the little meat patties called Meat Wad. They're super red. That's what he reminded me. I was like, this guy trying out for Meat Wad or something. You should see it, bro. Smoke a little ganja. Watch that show. It's like South Park. It's real funny.